It is Wild Card weekend in the NFL, and I am your host Nathan Nile with another episode of the Fan Perspective. Today is Saturday, January 5th, and there are two games being played today. First, at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Cincinnati at Houston. And it is a rematch of last year's matchup where Cincinnati and Houston faced off in the wild card, and Houston destroyed Cincinnati with T.J. Yates at quarterback. And this time with Matt Schaub back, you would think they actually stood an even better chance. But I'm actually going with Cincinnati to win. And here's why. I mean, Houston has a great team. They've got a lot of weapons that they can use. You know, Arian Foster leads the league in touchdowns, and Matt Schaub, he's no slouch. When he's the times when he has been called upon, he's shown the ability to get it done. You know, he's throwing to guys like Andre Johnson and Owen Daniels. You know, and this defense has a lot of strong playmakers between Jonathan Joseph, J.J. Watt. They've got a lot of guys on all sides of the ball that are more than capable of winning games for them. But for some reason, the last month, they have not looked like the same dominant Texas team that everybody was scared of playing. And meanwhile, Cincinnati, though, they've won 7 of their last 8 games, and the one game that they did lose was by 1 point. And here's another surprising statistic for you. This season, Cincinnati is 4-4 at home, 6-2 on the road. And yes, last year they lost heavily, but this season, instead of Cedric Benson, they added Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, who I believe even is a slight upgrade. And AJ Green and Andy Dalton are both another year older, another year better. You know, they have a very strong defense, which isn't talked about as much as it should be. And while I would not be shocked, I would not at all be surprised in any way to see Houston win, I simply feel like picking Cincinnati for the upset. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Vikings at the Packers, division rivals facing off for the third time this season. Last week, at the very end of the season, they faced each other in what was a must-win matchup for the Vikings, and a want-to-win for the Packers. I mean, Packers had the first-round bye on the line, and trust me, they wish they had won. But I think that, you know, last week, Adrian Peterson had 34 carries, and he had to get that in order for them to have any chance of winning, and they ended up winning by 3 points. And I think that by this point in the season, Adrian Peterson, who's been carrying the load for them all season, has over 2,000 rushing yards. You know, if he's going to start to really feel the burn. I mean, I'm not saying his numbers are going to decline, but I don't know how long you can really depend on solely the rushing game. Their defense isn't what it used to be. They have weapons on defense like Jared Allen, but they haven't been putting up the numbers that you're used to seeing from Jared Allen. And I just think that Aaron Rodgers is playing too well right now. For the first time this season, all of the receivers on their roster are actually healthy. And the defense is getting healthier. And I think Aaron Rodgers, if he continues to play like he did last week, I don't think the Vikings really stand a chance. I mean, I think they're going to put up a fight. I think you're going to see Adrian Peterson go beast mode. At the same time, though, I think this week in the playoffs, it's just not going to be enough because Christian Ponder really can't compare to Aaron Rodgers. And in my opinion, of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs right now, Christian Ponder has to be the worst of all of them. And I doubt that he has what it takes to lead his team to the Super Bowl. So I'm going with the Packers here. I mean, it doesn't seem like a really strong pick. I mean, they're heavily favored to win. They were 5-0 in the division until last week's loss to the Vikings. It's just, I would not be surprised to see the Vikings win, but the Packers seem like the obvious choice. So, those are my picks for today. tune in immediately after this for where I announce Comeback Player of the Year for the Fan Awards. And then tune in tomorrow where I announce the Fan Awards for Defensive Player of the Year and the playoff games for Seattle at Washington. And who was the other one? Whatever. Tune in tomorrow. You'll see it.